Welcome back to the Lowell Rickert Show, the Lowell Rickert Network. Just gave my thought on the decision handed down today on the Tom Brady Deflategate. The judge repealed the suspension, and he is eligible for Week 1. I don't like it, but it is what it is. Now we're going to talk college football, and I'm going to give you my top 25. And it's pretty much in an agreement with all the so-called experts and pollsters. Number 1, Ohio State. 2, TCU. 3, Bama. 4, Oregon. USC. 5. That one I'm unsure. I'm not with all this now off the field with Steve Sarkisian. I think he might be a distraction the whole year. So I think they're rated a little high. Auburn, Michigan State, Clemson, Baylor, UCLA round out the top 10. Then 11 through 25. Florida State, Notre Dame, LSU, Georgia Tech, Arkansas, Arizona State, Oklahoma, Arizona, Ole Miss, Georgia, Tennessee, Boise State, Mizzou, Stanford, and Mississippi. I think Penn State, if you want to say a top 30 team, I think they're a top 30 team, and I think they, to me, are a sleeper and a dark horse because they are now almost, technically they can be at 85. This is their first year. They can pretty much have a full squad, but I think he has around 80, I think. And I think next year he'll have a full 85. So, but he's pretty much full strength. He'll have depth finally. But for me, the key of the year is going to be the offensive line. Can they improve from last year, which they were dreadful, and that was where the weakness of Penn State could not run the ball. Hackenberg couldn't do nothing. Yes, he made bad decisions a lot of times last year, but he got crushed and sacked a lot as well, and that wasn't really on him. Lost Brenneman, and now Brenneman might be out for the season again. I guess that knee isn't as strong as Coach Franklin would like. Penn State has 8 returning on offense, 4 defense. But to me, you saw glimpses of an improved offensive line at the blue-white game. If we can see that, it may be a little better, and maybe build upon that, and that they're better than the blue-white game. Look out! They could be ahead. I said a couple years ago about this time Penn State would win the national title. You got an Ohio State team, tons of talent offensively. A lot of people are picking Penn State 8-4. I'm going a little higher than that. I might go 10. I'm going to go 10 wins. And one of them I'm calling upset of the year. And I'll give you a reason on it. I am calling Penn State to beat Ohio State at Ohio State this year. That's my upset of the year. A couple years ago, I said there were winnable games: Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio State. I got laughed at by some people, especially Michigan fans or a couple big Michigan fans. They just hammered me on it, and what do you know? I was right. And here are 2 reasons why I believe Penn State will beat Ohio State. Number 1, they had 60 players last year. They had not a full complement of players, and only lost by, took them to overtime and lost by 3 points. Number two critical replay calls went against Penn State that should have never happened. The guy never intercepted that pass for Ohio State. That was not an interception. Number two, they should have never been able to kick the field goal as the play clock went out. The Big Ten came out this summer and saying they were wrong, that there should have been, and they have corrected that there will be enough. They will have a feed from ABC or ESPN, whoever's covering the game. So those are the two reasons. And now Penn State has almost a full complement and have potential to have just as many weapons, if not more so, than last year. And I think Ohio State could be upset Monday night as well at Virginia Tech. But I'm calling it right now. This is my upset special. You can take it or you can rip me all you want. I do not care. But I believe Penn State will beat Ohio State at Ohio State. And all you Ohio State fans can say, "Oh, what? I'll bet you $5, $10." No, I'm not falling. I'm not gonna fall for it. I'm not falling for it. I believe in my heart, but I'm not falling for. I'll bet you $20. I'll bet you $100. No, I'm not falling for that. I'm just not falling. I fell for it a few times in my life, but I'm not. I learned my lesson. I'm not falling for that crap. I'm giving my opinion, and I believe Penn State is going to beat Ohio State. Now, Ohio State should win. They got maybe more talent than Penn State. I'll give you. They should be the #1 team in the country. But I think Penn State's going to go into Ohio State and knock them off. That's just my thought. Now, who I think is going to play in the playoffs? I like TCU. I like TCU a lot. Boykin is probably the leading contender for the Heisman. But Christian Hackenberg hasn't really been mentioned. I think he could be a Heisman contender if the offensive line is good. Another team I probably like. Watching that quarterback from Arizona State, I kind of like them. Look out for LSU with Fournette at running back. He's a stud. He was a highly touted freshman last year. Another dark horse. Oh boy. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure about Notre. I say this every year, but I'm just not sure. Notre Dame. Notre Dame has comes up short. I'm not impressed with Brian Kelly as their head coach. I'm just not been impressed with him. But I think right now, I think TCU's maybe I might just pick them to win the national title. Right now, so now who they will play, I have no clue right now. Everybody is lovey-dovey on USC. They have pretty much everybody back. They were in the same boat as Penn State. And they supposedly had a little bit fewer players than Penn State last year. They had like 50-some players compared to around 60 by Penn State. I think Penn State's got more weapons and a better quarterback than USC, in my opinion. But Michigan State could pose the problem. You might have to watch out for them as well. That's all I have. I really haven't looked at the depth chart for Penn State, so I can't really. But as the season goes on, I'll probably mention those kids. But I'm expecting a big year from Hackenberg. Zettel, I think, is going to have a good year. They seem to be loaded defensively and some big time recruits, and also they're set up. They're having a monster recruiting class for 2016 and 2017. Uh, so Saturday against Temple, I'm kind of tired. Me personally, I'm tired of them playing Temple. They don't gain anything by it. Yes, it's an in-state rival, but that's one in-state rival they can do without playing, in my opinion. The only in-state rival I'd rather see is Pitt. I like to see them play Pitt every year, and maybe add. Now Penn State gets criticized for their schedule, and but yet like Alabama plays Florida International, Charleston Southern, and all that, and they don't get ridiculed. Now I like to see Penn State get rid of, like, if they want to keep Buffalo, yes. I don't, but then your other three out of conference games, play a team from the big boy conference. That's what I would personally like to see. So that's just my opinion on that. Coming up after this, we're going to talk high school football. Channel 8 just gave their prediction, and it's pretty much on target with everybody else, including mine, but I'm not really going to give who I think is going to win it. I'm going to say who my top four are in no particular order. It's pretty much in agreement with everybody else, so we'll do that when we come back. This is the Lowell Record Show, the Lowell Record Network.
And during the few moments that we have left, we want to talk right down to earth in a language that everybody here.
We'll see you in a couple minutes.
understands.